Alcohol if mistreated can lead to life-threatening consequences. Alex Doyle has experienced the effects of binge drinking at a young age, as has the principal of Taunton College.
We all started drinking quite a lot. I got to the point where I drank a litre and a half of vodka, half a bottle of Malibu and about 6 beers. I'd done all this roughly in like 20 minutes. They chucked me outside and I was unconscious, so they had to call an ambulance. But when I woke up the next morning, I was in hospital on a drip with my heart being monitored, and apparently during the night I was restrained by hospital security guards because of my aggressive behaviour. I was hallucinating, so they thought I was doing cocaine. I tried climbing out of the top story window of the hospital.
How old were you when this happened?
I was 14.
Do you know how many units you were over the limit?
It was like 21 units.
How long were you in hospital for?
I think just a couple of days.
How has this influenced your decision in drinking alcohol?
I try not to drink as much.
Has it changed your opinion on alcohol?
No, just to do it in moderation.
Would you let yourself get into the same situation?
No.
Have you ever experienced any students consuming alcohol on the premises?
I have, and it's not something we come across very often, but we probably do come across it at least once a year. And of course we've got no alternative but to send those people home, to suspend them, and in some cases we expel the students. I can tell you, not at this college, but when I was working in the school sector, that I came across really life-threatening situations because of excessive drinking. I remember leading a college trip to the south of France and to northern Italy, and we had a group of students who thought the whole point of going on the college trip was to get away from direct parental supervision so they could go out and get very, very drunk on cheap wine and so on. And I remember having to pull a young person out of the Mediterranean Sea who decided to go swimming at 1 o'clock in the morning, completely drunk, and ended up in a French hospital having almost drowned because of his poor inebriated state. And another occasion where a student threw themselves into the Grand Canal in Venice, again because of excessive drinking, and started to hallucinate because of the excessive drinking, and again had to be hauled out of the Canal in Venice because he almost died, all because of excessive alcohol consumption.
62% of 16-17-year-olds interviewed admitted to drinking alcohol in the previous 7 days. With the number of youth-related incidents involving alcohol rising and clubs and bars putting on special student nights on a college night, it is a given that there's a national problem with students and drink. If you were to catch a student drinking on the premises, what would be your plan of action?
It would go through the pastoral route. Obviously we'd have to bring them in, speak to their parents, speak to probably Phil Woodward, who's my pastoral advisor, and he would deal with it from there.
If a student was intoxicated to the point where it was being antisocial, then they'd have to go to speak to the assistant principals, senior management, and most probably the principal himself.
I'd actually find that a little bit embarrassing, actually. If they're caught drinking during the day, during college, then clearly they've got an alcohol problem.
I would ask the student why, because there's highly likely to be a problem if somebody's actually seen drinking alcohol during the college day.
If a student's caught drinking on the premises, they're suspended immediately. And there isn't any way in which you can run a college and do anything else.
Although the policeman and the paramedic pointed out to us that youths are the main problem within alcohol abuse, there is a vast range of demographics that use and abuse alcohol. For example, young adults use clubs, adults use bars, people over the age of 50 use pubs. We also talked to Paul Hardiman, who is a patrol police officer who works on the streets dealing directly with alcohol incidents.
Have you ever been injured on call due to drunk behaviour? Yeah, we sort of get spat at, kicked at. I've never been seriously injured, fortunately. We do have ways to protect ourselves. We wear body armour. We do have a baton and CS spray that we can deploy, so we have some measures we can protect ourselves, but fortunately I've never been injured, and I think the secret is not to get too close to people, and we tend to get reinforcements when we're going to incidents.
Do you find people abusing alcohol on the streets more than in clubs or at homes?
I think more on the streets and parks. I think obviously with licensed premises, pubs and clubs and events, there are security there, but sometimes in parks late at night we have lots of people gathering and a lot of younger people, and they do drink in excess, isn't it? Because there's no sort of supervision of them. Have
you been called out to a victim's house due to behaviour by people under the influence disrupting them?
Yeah, we definitely. We have a lot of domestic abuse cases, and that does appear to be linked to alcohol consumption. So yes, I would say that's quite a regular feature of our activities, yes.
Have you issued many fines to people who have been drinking illegally or in illegal places?
Yeah, we do issue these fixed penalty notices. There's sometimes issues because if someone is so drunk they can't receive it. Clearly they need to be sober to understand what it's all about. But
have you seen many people go to jail because of misuse of alcohol?
Yes, I have seen people sent to prison because of alcohol.
Do you think that often the effects of alcohol often reach or match the effects that drugs can have an effect on people?
Yeah, I mean, I think alcohol can be more destructive because I think it's more easily available, but I think there's no doubt drugs can be harmful. They can be equally as bad, alcohol.
So we're just about to go into NA, Narcotics Anonymous. So we just came out of Narcotics Anonymous, and the main subject was sort of escapism, how people use drugs for escapism. We just sort of sat around, it's kind of the same sort of familiarity as AA. We just discussed how people use drugs as a dependent. Our investigation has demonstrated a range of alcohol-related incidents, with our sobriety test proving to us that alcohol does have a serious effect on the state of mind. However, the statistics we put forward have proven that drugs have a lower death rate than alcohol, but have a more serious portrayal in the media. Therefore, we consider this as manipulation and verging on a moral panic stigmatised by the police.